Welcome to the show presented by VDG Sports. I am your host, Vince Douglas Gregory. What's on my agenda? What is on my agenda? International football. International football, you are mediocre at best. And those football Einsteins that follow you around and say you are the best thing since sliced bread. Well, I've heard that before. Everything can't be the best thing since sliced bread. Bread has been around a long time. You aren't brand new. You can't be in those Einsteins or geniuses. Those are the same ones that say mediocre leagues are not watchable. Oh, really? And international isn't a mediocre league? International football is not a mediocre league? What? WTF? WTH? WT, add any more consonants, it would still mean the same thing. It's the definition of mediocre. Every country does not have good to great players. Every country does not have good to great players. There's talent gap throughout the countries. There's no one gold mine of talent coming from one area, even though you would like to believe that it just isn't true, and to say otherwise, you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. I think I know the true motives. I think I know what is really going on, but I'll get there. I will get there. Just relax and hold that thought, or be angry and not hold a thing but the truth. International football is watchable. Yeah, it's probably watchable, but is it pleasant watching? Watching grass grow is watchable. Is it pleasant? Watching the sun rotate on its axis or revolve, that's watchable. Is it pleasant? Watching water evaporate, that's watchable. Is it pleasant? There are a lot of things that's watchable, but is it pleasant? But if this international football is so watchable, what about the other mediocre leagues? How come they aren't watchable? How come they aren't watchable when the international football is the definition of not good, not great, but okay? You know why? You know why. I know why. We all know why. It's nationalism. It is nationalism. It is rooting for one's country. It's putting one's country above other countries and above the rest, and saying my country is better than yours. What did that lead us? Or what have that led us in the past? Yeah. Okay. Is that the true motive here? Is that what it's really about? To have quote unquote bragging rights against other countries because they don't have players to fit a certain mold or a certain model? Yeah, okay, fine, you can have that, but mediocrity and the so-so sport, when there are so many so-so sports leagues that you could possibly watch, like the MLS. And no, that's not a shot at you, MLS. That's me giving you a compliment, saying you are right on par with international football, and I would choose to watch you and help you grow, then partake and participate in watching international football. And no, it's not just about the Euros. International means international. It's the Euros. It's the World Cup. It's you know, African, Copa America. I can keep naming. I can go on and on, but that is not the point. You understand this. You know this. The point is, it's not about the leagues. It's not about not being able to watch a mediocre league outside of international football. It's about you wanting to say my country is the best and go and banter other countries just because you can hide behind the fact that it's a sport when your true motive is a proxy war. Your true motive is a proxy war, a proxy banter war that's going on amongst other countries, and you can get away with it, and you can say what you say and do what you do and hide behind the fact that it is sport. It's international sport. Hey, I'm not an IR specialist, and that's international relations for the geniuses. I'm not an IR specialist. I don't play one on TV. I don't pretend to be one. I'm just a person who takes information like facts and take them and try to determine and figure out things, results. And what I'm saying is the same energy is not being kept throughout. So what is the one thing that separates, or the two things that separates these mediocre leagues, quote unquote, mediocre leagues that these people don't want to watch and don't want to support because it's full of, see, I can't even get the digits going up and down on that one because they're tired. They are tired, but full of other mediocre players, and you can't watch it. Can't watch it. It's a bad league. It's a boring league. It's a blah 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 league. Well, what is international football? It's the definition of mediocre. It's the definition of it. I get it. You need something to do. You want to have something to do. There are many different versions of the dictionary that you can read. Try reading about 3. And if you get tired with reading 3 versions of the dictionary, you can try reading about 2 different versions of a thesaurus. And if you get tired with that, how about reading the encyclopedia or getting encyclopedias online preferably, and starting with A at the beginning and go all the way to Z. Reading is fundamental, and it might help in getting us to a place where we don't have to make things up, like saying this football is amazing, this football is great, this football is something that I dream of and I want to see, and I don't mind seeing it every so often. You can say that for just about anything. How about watching one of these bad leagues or not so good leagues that's outside of the top 5? That's outside of the top 5 all year, or pick and choose when. You can replace that with international football, or yeah. But that doesn't fit the agenda. That doesn't fit in your matrix. That does not fit in what you are really and truly trying to do and trying to get accomplished. Like I said, it's nationalism. Hiding behind it, maybe. Hiding behind it, maybe. But hiding behind nationalism, maybe. Or you're out in front. I might, or actually I do. I have a little bit more respect for those who just come out and say it. Respect for those who just say, you know what? I like international football because I can support my country and I can banter and I can say that my country is better than yours, and I can't say that anywhere else without getting endangered. I can't say that anywhere else without getting endangered or starting something for reals. I have more respect for those people because at least they honest. At least they honest. At least they saying that it's not the greatest, not the best, and they're there for the banter. They're there to do what they know they can't do in the real world. Who wants to start another war in the real world? I can respect that. But these proxies, nah. Because we know how you feel. We know how you feel. Or I know how you feel. You've been figured out. You've been caught out because there are a lot of bad leagues that are better than international football, that have some better players than the majority of the international football, because they're all concentrated in certain spots in certain areas and is not from the same country. Imagine that. Don't imagine too hard, because I need you here with me, and you don't need to float away or go Betty bye-bye. I need you here righty right now. International football, saying that it's top notch, saying that it's something that you enjoy seeing, it's just your opinion, and it's okay to have bad opinions. It's okay to have bad thoughts, but bad thoughts and bad opinions can lead to bad outcomes and bad situations. This is just me still giving away the friendly advice, because I can't charge for this. I can't charge for this. This is something that I got to deliver and say and do it for free to help those who need help. And if you think that this is something enjoyable to watch, you need help. Every so often I come around. Every so often I come around and I point out how bad international football is. I'm consistent. I am consistent. I've been getting presented with new information. I'm intaking this new information, and the results are still the same. International football is not good. It's not pleasant. It's not enjoyable to the eye. I'd rather watch other leagues. I'd rather watch smaller leagues. I'd rather watch teams that know each other, that are put together for a particular reason, and they can grow or not grow, compete or not compete. But they're there for a reason and there for a purpose, and it's not nationalism. Not saying that nationalism is bad or anything. It's just that when it's hidden or cloaked into a sport or a league, and it's taken to the next level where it's one against the other, and you're drawing lines in the sand, in the mud, and it becomes tribal. Hey, we all know how tribalism works out. And if you don't know, I suggest you go ahead and read right here. That's if I decide to put the definition up for you. If not, it's probably up there. And if it's not up there, try reading one of the different versions of the dictionary to figure out what it means. Because I'm giving this free advice. I'm being consistent. I've been saying for the longest my feelings, my opinion, my facts, my non-negotiable facts about international football. It's there. It is there. It's not me changing up my energy to suit other people's preference. It's not me bending and changing in the wind because the times have changed or what have you. If it's called for, if the information decides that is the case, then so be it. If it's called for and the information is there, so be it. But there's just some things that's true and not true that can be determined and not determined. There's some things that are true and not true, non-negotiable facts. There's some things that's true and not true, some non-negotiable facts, and everything else in between. Everything else in between. So when I say that international football is not the best, I'm not saying that it's the worst of all time. I'm not hot taking it. I'm not torrid taking it and saying that I'd rather jump up and down through flaming hoops on one toe while doing backflips and twerking at the same time for the dollar bill. I'm not saying that. I'm not torrid taking it. All I'm saying is international football is mediocre. There's some other mediocre leagues that people that refuse to watch because they say they don't watch mediocre leagues, and all I'm doing is calling out you. It is what it is. If you don't watch mediocre leagues, and then mediocre leagues isn't something you can get behind, international football is mediocre. It's the mediocrity of the leagues. These players get together every so often. They aren't really teammates. They might be pals and buddies, but your pals and buddies don't mean you make a good team. You need some receipts for that? I can provide them. The one thing that stands out and the difference between the two, and maybe there's some more, but the one thing that stands out to most to me is the nationalism. It's the nationalism. It's for one's country, one's place of origin. That is fine. That is okay. You can love, like your country. But it's when you take that to a different level. When you take that to a different level in the competition. Because that's one thing about competition. Competition can drive people to do things that they normally would not do. So if you're driven to a certain degree, to a certain point of just wanting to banter another country, and you can't do it any other time, you can't banter their people any other time, and this event, this sport, this platform gives you the opportunity to hide your true emotions and true feelings behind nationalism. You can just wrap it up and it's like, oh yeah, it's for this reason. Then issues come in with that. And it's basically just a proxy banter war amongst the two entities. And if you want to get deeper than that, it becomes tribal, and it's tribalism all over again, and we're back to the days. And that's a caveman or Neanderthal. And I'm sorry, Neanderthals, I thought I can speak your language, but I just can't. I thought I can speak your language, I just can't. Maybe, just maybe, the football Einsteins can help me out. Maybe, just maybe, the football Einsteins can help me out with this, because I can't speak it. I tried. All I'm saying is, be true to yourself. Unless you are an untruthful person, then I'd suggest you take a look in the mirror and pat yourself on the back and say, it's okay. It's going to be all right. And if you can't pat yourself on the back because your arms are too short, go ahead and lean up against the wall and have the wall pat you on the back and say, it's okay. It's going to be all right. And if the wall fails to deliver, because the wall should be able to do this any and every time you need it, but if the wall is unable to deliver this for you, you got bigger issues and you got bigger problems than having a pat on the back. And I suggest you try to get out ASAP, and that's as soon as possible. I'm not spitting any codes here, just true facts, non-negotiable facts, and things to help you out, because free advice Free advice for those who can't keep the same argument, for those who can't stay true to their argument, for those who don't even understand what an argument is, and for the hot takers, turret takers, and basically anybody who just saying something to say something to get a reaction. Because that's what it's about, right? Reaction. International football reaction. Yeah. Keep doing that.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.